as a country in the application of our national values and principles for the period under review. We start with morality and ethics. As a nation, Madam Speaker, we have made progress in the application of morality and ethics. However, more remains to be done as incidences of immoral and unethical conduct continue to be prevalent in our country. These include, unfortunately, alcohol and substance abuse, child marriages, teenager pregnancies, gender-based violence, corruption, Madam Speaker, corruption, and the abuse of information and communication technology, of course, on the platform of social media and others. Our government has continued to implement a national alcohol policy which provides for a coordinated response to address this scourge. In implementing the policy, one of the measures has been the sensitization of citizens on the dangers of alcohol and substance abuse. Government is also providing rehabilitation services which are available in provincial hospitals as well as in public and private institutions selected across the districts of our country, the whole country, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, government enacted the Cannabis Act number 33 of 2021 and the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act number 35 of 2021 to, among other reasons or other things, regulate the use of these substances. Our administration will indeed ensure that these pieces of legislation are effectively enforced without any segregation of any kind. Madam Speaker, the fight against alcohol and substance abuse is not for government alone. It can never be achieved by government alone. Let us all get involved and help our fellow citizens, especially the youth, in this regard. To the parents, let us not neglect our responsibility of molding our children into morally upright citizens. It starts, Madam Speaker, at the family level. If it's done properly at the family level, then society will have dealt with this issue. If we neglect it at the family level, it becomes difficult to do good or right on this subject later in life. To the church, civil society, traditional leadership, let us all take interest and participate in the fight against this scourge. To the youth, we urge you to refrain from abusing alcohol and other drugs. I must say here, Madam Speaker, there are cases where even adults are involved in this unfortunate situation. Now, if we adults are involved, how are we going to guide our children? Are we going to encourage them to do what is wrong, what destroys them? I think we must check ourselves. To the private sector, especially the liquor industry, we implore you to put in place measures and programs that will help our people refrain from alcohol and substance use. We further implore you to operate within the confines of the law. The law guides all of us. The law moderates all of us. That's why we put up these laws, to moderate all of us in our society. In particular, Madam Speaker, we call upon the local authorities to strictly enforce the bylaws that regulate the sale of alcohol. Undertake, your government is concerned that some of our cyberbullying, indeed fake news, We see a lot of such on our platforms. Fake news, cybercrime, enticing people to loan schemes that don't exist completely, and circulation of obscene materials. Obscene materials, Madam Speaker, destroys the morality of our young people. These are just among the vices. There are many more. It is important that we use this platform, Madam Speaker, put a stop to irresponsibility as well. This vice cannot be celebrated or laws to protect equality will be enforced without segregation. Let us use this platform for good and to foster the continued development of our communities, our democracy, to promote creativity, of course, entertainment, Madam Speaker, legitimate news and transactions, to make that to create a law that encourage activity. Speaker, child marriages and teenager pregnancies have remained serious issues in our country. Sadly, we have cases of girls, very young girls, who are being married off. We have cases of teenager girls who are still children themselves, and they begin to have children. Where is the family in this situation? The family unit, which is the one that ought to deal with these issues as the first stage. Where is the family unit? These teenager girls are exposed to health complications and even death, sometimes at the point of giving birth. We are responsible. Madam Speaker, we are all responsible for this unfortunate situation. This is immoral. This is unacceptable, Madam Speaker. This should not be tolerated among ourselves. To this end, we have partnered with the traditional, civic leaders, church, civil society organizations to sensitize our communities on the dangers of child marriages and indeed teenager pregnancies. Further, Madam Speaker, government is implementing the school re-entry policy and keeping girls in school as a program to ensure that the child remains in school and is protected from such vices as much as possible. Additionally, the free education policy, Madam Speaker, among other measures, will clearly further improve the circumstances of the girl child and the communities at large, without doubt. No question about it. Going forward, government will harmonize all child-related legislation to ensure children's rights and welfare are protected effectively. We will enforce the laws. Madam Speaker, I shall repeat, we will enforce the laws and bring to book those who marry teenager girls. I'm talking about, Madam Speaker, I am very categoric here. We are very categoric. You marry a teenager girl, Madam Speaker, I wish to emphasize a point that has been ignored in the past. Yes, we prosecute those who marry teenager girls, and therefore, we shall also go for parents and guardians who marry off young girls. We want our children to be protected from any form of abuse, neglect, and indeed, Madam Speaker, exploitation. Madam Speaker, gender-based violence is another means to affect our country. Government is working with various stakeholders to address this vice. In 2021, Madam Speaker, you will be pleased to note that a total of 20,540 cases of gender-based violence were recorded compared to 26,370 in 2020. I give these figures, we give these figures, Madam Speaker, for us to pick the trend, or a trend. This obviously suggests a decrease of 22.1%. In spite of this reduction, Madam Speaker, a lot still needs to be done going forward. Government is also concerned about acts of gender-based violence that are not reported in our communities. They happen, but they are not reported. This is of concern to us. It must be a concern to all of you. This is specifically or especially common in our rural areas and peri-urban settlements. For some reason, we have an idea what this reason is, but maybe we should, for today, say for some reason. We urge our citizens to be alert, make this fight personal, and report key ways in which victims can be assisted and perpetrators punished. Madam Speaker, government will continue to work with stakeholders in implementing measures aimed at reducing instances of gender-based violence in our communities. Working together, we can reduce to the minimum gender-based violence. Madam Speaker, I have a passion which I would like to share with the House and the nation today. That passion is about love. We must love one another, because where love is present, Madam Speaker, there will be no violence. How is it that you can claim to love your wife for a husband? You beat her up in the morning, and in the evening you claim you love her. How possible is that? How possible is it, Madam Speaker, how possible is it that a father can take their own child to bed, but they claim to love their child, yet they are destroying that child forever? It means there's no love in that environment. Love is strong. Love conquers. We must love each other in our communities. Separate that from criminality, Madam Speaker. The two are separate. You can't commit crimes and say, because there is love in the house, then I'll go scot-free. The two, Madam Speaker, are separate. Our communities and our nation will be better off if we lead our lives with love for one another. Starting at the family level, it's the most important unit in any nation is the family. Madam Speaker, ethical conduct is critical to achieving our developmental agenda. We need a professional and ethical public sector parastatal. We must apply codes of ethics and conduct, Madam Speaker. The new administration is determined to change the mindset of our citizens, especially public service workers. We therefore call upon all professional bodies and associations to sensitize their members on their respective professional codes of conduct and ensure that these are enforced to the letter. After all, we create these standards so that they can be followed, so that they can be enforced. So let's do what we intended to do when we created these codes of patriotism. Madam, Zambia is our heritage. Please follow the usage of these simple words. Zambia is our country. Zambia is our heritage. Zambia belongs to all of us. Never should we again, Madam Speaker, create a deliberate divide amongst our people. Institutionalize that divide behavior. It should never happen again, because Zambia belongs to all of us, Madam Speaker. It is our duty, therefore, to nurture a strong sense of patriotism, which entails putting the interest of our nation first. This includes, Madam Speaker, participational assets. The responsibility to demonstrate loyalty, love, dedication to our country remains with us all, first as individuals, family, society, communities. We are proud of our citizens who continue to carry the Zambia and science. Let us be inspired by these shining stars and emulate their hard work and sense of patriotism. We must embrace the value of hard work, Madam Chair. I shall repeat this. Without working, we can't build a nation. Personal experience and more work delivers results. There's no question about it. We must be disciplined of an organization. Shortcuts. This vice must be condemned when we see it, when we experience it, Madam Speaker, at all costs. It does not only disrupt service delivery, but also derails progress towards first. Luckily, Madam Speaker, when we do that, our personal interests also get taken care of. But the opposite is not true, and we've seen it. The personal interest takes precedence, destroy the nation, but eventually our own interests will be affected negatively. If you are a supplier, you get paid for goods you never supplied. Eventually, you will never be paid because the economy will have no capacity to pay you. Madam Speaker, I am making a point here that if you put the nation first, conduct yourself properly, be respectful, be truthful, your interests will also be taken care of. But the opposite is not true. We have seen it. We don't need to look around. We've seen it. Madam Speaker, our government is determined to continue promoting the consumption of locally produced goods and services. Madam Speaker, through this House and to the nation, I ask us to be attentive on this matter. Our government is determined to continue promoting the consumption of locally produced goods and services. If we have to legislate about that, we will ask this House to do so. We know the benefits of that, Madam Speaker. This is key to our economic transformation story and agenda. Demand for local produce, consumption of local produce and services will drive higher production levels. Simple. Simple. Yes, Kawamba Tea is our company. Madam Speaker, this behavior, without you noticing it as an individual, would translate into what we call demand pool, and production will respond positively, and jobs will be created. and businesses will be created. It's as simple as that. And there's no partisanship, Madam Speaker, in such issues. There's no political party in such issues. What there is the interest of Zambia and our people. This is key, I repeat, to our social economic transformation agenda. When I say this, I mean to all of us, not to the UPND, not to the PF, not to another party, but to the whole country. We are making progress in this area, but a bit slow, as more of our citizens are consuming our local products. This is evidenced by the increased shelf space for local products in trading areas and shops, Madam Speaker. We now have 47 local companies that are certified to use the official Proudly Zambian logo, covering 565 local products registered with a mark of quality under Buy Zambia campaign. We give credit to those of our citizens who have relentlessly continued to push the Buy Zambia campaign, and we must support them. This is progress, of course, compared to 33 companies certified in 2022. Comparative analysis, Madam Speaker, covering 500 products. Now we have many more products, many more companies. It's good process, good stage, but we can do more. Further, this administration, Madam Speaker, will promote and strengthen initiatives aimed at increasing the use of local inputs in various processes and production value chains. I have followed the debate of the importation of onion. Honestly, why should we import onion in this country? Honestly. Let's carry this debate outside this house. This is not correct. This is common sense issue. Madam Speaker, we must have specific mindsets evolution to connect value, why and value, for which we should do these things, such things. Value addition, Madam Speaker, is essential is a very important and essential component, among others, in driving the growth of our economy. We've talked about it before. We must work towards actualizing that. Madam Speaker, it is gratifying to witness increased acts of care from citizens and organizations who have been rendering support to the needy on a voluntary basis. On a voluntary basis. Some citizens have been offering their services and indeed resources to serve their respective communities. We salute all of those who are volunteering their services and provide resources in their communities to the needy. These include faith-based organizations, women churches, members of the World Development Committees at that level, which is important, localized level, community welfare assistance committees, civil society, NGOs, amongst others. Madam Speaker, I'm proud to say, some may not see it. Many of the citizens are beginning to see that a new dawn is here. It is time, Madam Speaker, to work hard, as I said earlier, to cherish benefits arising from work, not taking. Not taking, but you get rewarded from working. Our country must build itself and must build itself as a united people. It is time to stop any form of division, Madam Speaker, based on whatever criterion or criteria. Absolutely none of these issues must divide us. And I'm not shy to say, ethnicity is a gift from God. It's not a basis of divisions. Some have exploited and benefited from it for years. This must come to an end. Political affiliation, religious. Many of us are victims of our religious affiliations. Why should it be like that? Body of Christ is one. Indeed, any other differences, Madam Speaker, must not be a basis of divisions in our country. We have a lot more things that unite us than the few that apparently, superficially, may be viewed to be the basis of divisions. No, Madam Speaker. You can argue on policies, we can argue on who we socialize with, it's our choice, but it should never lead to divisions that eventually bring in violence. No. No, Madam Speaker. We are one Zambia, one nation, one people. This is a gift. This is a gift from God. This is a gift from God. Since we're a Christian nation, we must live like Christians. We must rid ourselves of acts that divide us, Madam Chair. It's a wasteful exercise. It's wasted energy. It's waste of resources. All of these resources, time included, are needed for a concerted effort towards development, bettering the lives of our people, not to use them to divide ourselves, unless one has an inferiority complex. If you don't have that, we must rid ourselves of that stuff. We are Zambians first before affiliation to a political party, before we join churches. Madam Chair, many of us belong to churches because that's the church that we found when we were born in the area we were born. How can that be a source of difference? Ethnic, as I said, how can that be an issue? Social groupings. So human rights, fundamental human rights, liberties and freedoms. But they cannot be and should never be the basis for divisions. In this regard, Madam Chair, we must enjoy our freedoms and rights without fear. That's the opposite side of the coin, without fear of victimization. Some things we must say, they happened in the past, we should never allow them to happen again. I think that's the basis of strength, not weakness. There is no honor, I must say, Madam Chair. I'm sure others did not expect me to say it. There is no honor in cadreism that leads to violence. Madam Chair, I shall repeat to assist one or two colleagues who were busy chatting. To those who want to commit these crimes, you are on your own. We love you. The law will visit you regardless of your political affiliation. Markets, bus stations, or public offering divisive behaviors. I think we take away the credentials from a norm to our citizens, and leaders were in the lead. It went on for years. But I'm saying, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, I am saying we love you. Going forward, law and order everywhere and all the time should be the norm, and not the violence and hooliganism of the past. Supreme and are the highest form of political authority. Indeed, the Zambian people are our masters. We in this House must remind ourselves of this all the time. And I must say, having attended many international platforms, it here, because we are used now, there is need to always remember that. Those of us, hear me out, to serve and not to take away from the people. The two are different. Public office is to serve, committed to creating a level playing field where democracy can thrive. Convictions, and as I said, devoid of violence, but, and indeed Sokontwe ward in Milenge, in Luapula, for the peaceful elections. This indeed, Madam Speaker, this is indeed, Madam Speaker, how it should be. This demonstrates our deepening democracy. But this does not happen by chance. It happens through leadership, through providing leadership. Lingering habits of the past, Madam Speaker, do raise or rear their ugly heads. But the important thing is that we are committed and will continue providing leadership to stamp them down. That's the key. It's not that they will not reappear. One or two instances will happen, but we'll clamp them down. And that's leadership. That's leadership. The new Dawn administration respects the principle of separation of powers among the three arms of government. Absolutely. While coordination is of vital importance, we will, however, continue to respect the autonomy of the executive on one hand, legislature on another, and indeed the judiciary in carrying out their respective constitutional mandates. Madam Speaker, today, certain things are happening which could have never happened just 7-8 months ago. That people are entitled to police bond. People are entitled to bail. That's separation of powers, but through leadership. Madam Speaker, as indicated, our administration remains committed to the rule of law to ensure an orderly and just society. Today, Madam Speaker, anyone can go to Intercity Market and catch a bus. You can go to Kulima Tower and buy what you want, or indeed do what you want, even when you are wearing your regalia of the opposite side. Only 7 months ago, that was a death sentence. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, leadership can destroy, leadership can build. Let us use leadership to build. not to destroy. And sometimes we must accept what is wrong to be wrong and right to be right. All persons, therefore, Madam Speaker, institutions and entities, public and private, shall operate within the confines of the law. We will enforce the law equally, regardless of one's status in society. Constitutional reforms, Madam Speaker, allow me to say something about this. Constitutional reforms are an integral part of the transformation agenda of this administration. There's too many lacunas. I'm not sure how this happened, but it happened. There are too many lacunas in the Constitution. Madam Speaker, I am talking about the 2016 Constitution. The lacunas in the 2016 Constitution. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about anything else here. Madam Speaker, constitutional reforms are an integral part of the transformation agenda of this administration. In this regard, Madam Speaker, government shall undertake all necessary measures to gather and build consensus, Madam Speaker, with all stakeholders on how best we can give ourselves a constitution that reflects our shared and cherished aspirations as a people. Madam Speaker, I want to emphasize the word consensus building. No constitutional process must be driven without consensus. For example, Madam Speaker, not just the Constitution, but other laws. But for example, Madam Speaker, I am passionate about what I'm about to say. And I ask for your attention, the attention of colleagues in this august House. For example, some of us will continue to lobby you in this House and others for the nation to legislate against costly, time-consuming, and disruptive by-elections. Elections. Madam Speaker, those with good memories, if that's all we need, will remember that in my inaugural speech opening this parliament, where I'm seated here, I raised the same issue. I raise it again because I believe in it. And I want to repeat, some of us will continue to lobby you, all of you here, and others for the nation to legislate against costly, time-consuming, and disruptive by-elections. Come to the table for this. Elections should happen once in every 5 years. In between elections, we should focus on all our available time and resources to improving the lives of our fellow citizens. So, come to the table on this one and others. In addition, Madam Speaker, excitement indicates that there's interest in this subject. Madam Speaker, I said there are so many flaws in the Constitution and lacunas. If we don't change those, like this one, the by-elections will continue. Well, in addition, Madam Speaker, working with you and other stakeholders, our administration will amend the Public Order Act in line with our democratic tenets. Human dignity, Madam Speaker, equity, social justice, equality, and non-discrimination are critical. And we've learned the hard way from the past on this one. Madam Speaker, enhancing human development for our people is a major priority for this government. We are committed to turning around our economy to accelerate social economic transformation and uplift livelihoods of our citizenry. In this regard, more effort will be placed on creating opportunities and a conducive environment for increased productivity. Madam Speaker, our government is determined to have a dignified workforce, as I said before. Employers should employ, I shall repeat this, employers should comply with our labor laws and provide a conducive environment for the workers to work in. It is in this regard, Madam Speaker, under the Decent Work Program, over 3,800 labor inspections were undertaken in 2021 to enhance the protection of workers' rights, improve the work environment, obviously, which should lead to higher productivity. It is clear that a lot still remains to be done to promote the decent workplace agenda. We also urge employees on their part to bring to the attention of government through various labor offices any concerns that they may have for improvement. There's no point just posting these on social media. Please report what you are aggrieved about to the labor offices near you. We believe that working together, the work environment, and indeed productivity and economic advancement shall be the good result that we expect. Madam Speaker, we are concerned with the high unemployment levels amongst our youth. Very concerned. Very concerned. Handouts will not solve this problem. Absolutely. The new Dawn administration will review this process. Madam Speaker, this process, new initiatives brought on the available, not in one day. The youth to take advantage of the empowerment programs. Mining licenses, you have heard me. Opportunities for access to land, mining licenses, timber licenses, to give our youth and other citizens a decent, sustainable opportunities to income generation. Not queuing, Madam Speaker. Not tantamen, Madam Speaker. Tantamen in our Bemba language, is a practice where some politicians will never drive development in their constituencies, but when elections come, they just tell the youth to line up and 20 kwacha each and ask them to vote for them without development. Madam Speaker, we must help our youth to develop. We must help our youth to develop, to look after themselves. Those of us born from the village understand this better. But it's no different from any part of the country, or indeed where you were born. Let's develop our population. Let's not destroy them. Our strategy to promote investment and private sector growth will not only bring about economic growth, but create jobs, Madam Speaker, and our cherished desire to see our people access business opportunities. And this House, if necessary, it must legislate on many things that will make our people access these opportunities we've talked about. Self-employment, Madam Speaker, should continue to be promoted and to be valued. Since I described that usage of the word and not tantamount. Madam Speaker, I want to repeat, self-employment should continue to be promoted and to be valued in our country. Madam Speaker, as a nation, we have a duty to educate every Zambian child, regardless of status. As stated earlier, our first bold step, Madam Speaker, in this regard was to make primary and secondary education free in public schools. We insisted that it was, and we are doing it. Additionally, we are also keeping more vulnerable children in school by enhancing the school feeding program. Madam Chair, I have heard complaints that now children are sitting on the floor, so the free education policy has failed. What a lack of understanding. It's a good problem to have. It means the policy is working. It means that there were children out of school before this policy. How do we resolve it? Simple. Buy more desks. Build more classroom space. Is that possible? Yes. Through what? CDF and other measures. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, the House went into rapture too early. I was telling a short story that it is a right and pleasurable challenge to have because it means the policy is working. We must be ashamed that children, many, were out of school because parents could not afford. This is the vision. This is it. Now we can fix it. I was saying, buy school desks, and Madam Chair, in support of our youth and women, no school desks should be imported from outside this country. They must all be made here. Madam Speaker, I have heard people say capacity. This policy will develop capacity. Demand will drive production. And the money desks must be bought in the locations. Then stay in those areas. You are talking of liquidity. Madam, for the House of Rapture, the tool is means something. Before, we argued a lot that free education was not possible. We said, no, it's possible. Today is the flaws of the bursary system at the center. We set scholarships, some of them decided at the constituency level. It's a measure that many never envisaged could happen. is here. Madam, a bit of happiness. Insurance are, but are also improving. Food is crucial to many of our children. Madam Speaker, our government is constructing public infrastructure, including completing those that we found and completed for over 10 years. These are assets. They don't belong to a political party. They belong to the citizens. They are in the balance sheet of a business code. And sit in a status we call dormancy or non-productive. We want to put them into productive use. Ever decision to make. Nothing to do with politics. Our government is proceeding on this line to respect, even when we may not agree with some of the decisions that were made before, respect that that's into full use, gainful use, Madam Speaker. We bring services, public services closer to people and address the developmental inequalities between rural and urban areas. Rural connectivity, Speaker, transport, electricity, among others, not just from the grid, Madam Speaker. It is off-grid as well. It is green electricity as well. Among others, these are critical agenda items for development. Projects, Madam, initiated and once commissioned, more of our people in peri-urban and rural areas will have access to markets, access to electricity. As I said, electricity is not ZESCO. There's a misnomer that electricity means ZESCO. No. ZESCO is only one. There's a lot of off-grid electricity. Madam, those of us from the villages, our parents, the remaining ones, have electricity through off-grid. We can do it for other old people. We can do it for the vulnerable. And this will ease livelihoods, ease doing business in those areas. Madam Speaker, we are also working to enhance access to water and sanitation. Again, wonderful instrument, never thought about before. Good portion of CDF will go to water. No woman, if we do it properly, no woman, mother or daughter should walk 5 kilometers to the water point, 5 kilometers back home. And we expect them to cook for us. We have been in an unfair society for too long. We should not continue doing that. We're also working to enhance access to other mechanisms that will overlay the CDF platform. Climate adaptation funds must be overlaid, some of them with the CDF funds. Yes. We'll sink the borehole under CDF, we'll bring a solar panel under climate adaptation. Then you have reticulated water. Then you will have reticulated water, you will have flush toilet. Absolutely. Madam Speaker, we've significantly applied our minds to the needs of society who live in different circumstances across the country. Level now have an opportunity to determine their developmental priorities and implement the amounts that the program